Okay, fuel rail test. I've got it hooked up. I put some fuel injector harness connectors to it so I can fire one without having to disconnect, connect, all that. I've got it hooked up to the fuel supply, which includes the pump on the side. It's powered by a 12-volt strip, which I can turn on and off with a toggle switch. My idea behind that is I can plug in, the fuel supply. I can plug in the EFI. I can probably even hook in the alternator if I want to. But that gives me a lot of outputs. They're all connected to a 12-volt battery, which is kind of neat. I went ahead and hooked up to the fuel pressure regulator, this line, to a vacuum pump, which I currently, I'll release the pressure. Okay, but you can see I can pull a normal vacuum with it. I wanted to demonstrate how the fuel pressure regulator works using that. That's going to just hang there. So first thing let's crank up the pump. I ran it a few minutes ago, still holding 20 psi. Let's crank it up. Okay, so it stabilizes right at about 38 psi, which is great. Maybe a hair lower, maybe a little bit lower, maybe 37. It should be right around 36. That's close. So while we're talking about fuel pressure regulators, let's talk about how the vacuum from the intake manifold affects it. When high vacuum situations occur, when the throttle plate's closed, the engine doesn't require a lot of fuel, so one of the things that Datsun does, it reduces the fuel pressure. So here you see I'm pulling vacuum. I'm down to about 32, and I'm at about 16 inches of mercury. So your typical idle is right around 17 to 18, which should be right around 30. So everything's looking really good as far as how the pump works and how the fuel pressure works. Now we'll fire off an injector. But bear with me here, I'm trying to do this one-handed, so let me just hook this up. Time out. I'm going to hook it up to the battery. Okay, and I hope you can see this. So that's how it's supposed to work, and I've done each one. They all do the same thing. So I know that not only do they click, but they pass fuel, and so we should be good to go. So this is pretty much concludes my test. I wanted to make sure that the rail worked, that the fuel injectors injected, that the fuel pressure regulator was working properly, and that my fuel pump system here is working. This all works just the way I want it to, so I feel very, very comfortable with it. The only thing I didn't do, I sort of wish I had, was the cold start valve. Although, I mean, really, I'm not even planning on using the cold start valve. I'm not planning to get that deep into it. But whatever. But yeah, I tested each one of these. I'll do another one just for fun. Let's just there and get a better video of the action. Let me set this up. So I'm going to get this plug out. Get this plug in. And get a little better light on it, maybe. I mean, I guess I could hook these all up, fire them all at the same time, and get a flow test. But again, this is just for test running the engine. I'm not really expecting it to be a permanent situation. I just want to fire it off and see it work and heat it up and see if the head gasket leaks or anything weird like that. Anyway, that's it for fuel test. Let's cut it off. And let's watch how fast that fuel pressure drops. And one of the things I was looking for is leaks. No leaks anywhere, which is a good thing. And that's actually holding up there pretty well. I have a lot of rubber hoses, so I'm not surprised the pressure will stay up, because with all this rubber hose, it has a place. See if I can squeeze it. You see what I mean? Here's me squeezing it. See, it goes up. I'm squeezing that hose. So the more rubber hose you have, the higher the pressure is likely. Oh, you know something we didn't do? Here, this should be interesting. All right. Let me see if I can unhook this. I'm going to try blowing into that. In other words, pressurizing the situation. I never did fire the injector at full power, but let's just see if we can. You see it going up. I'm actually blowing into the fuel pressure regulator. So it does have a little bit of effect on the positive side. And I think I'm going to fire them now at full pressure to see if it looks any different. Frankly, I can't tell any difference at all. It probably flowed more fuel, but yeah, hard to say. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.